Greetings, ladies and metalgens, and welcome to this latest narration on the web series The Nature of Predators. If you are new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 83, Memory Transcription Subject Lim, Venlo Rescue. Date, Standardized Human Time, November 29th, 2136. Public transport on Venlo was always behind schedule, and this tram station was no exception. I was stuck waiting for the next ride out. It was wonderful to see so many people walking around in a bustling environment. There was still life in their eyes, hope that the humans hadn't quenched yet. Part of me wished I didn't know the truth of the Gaians. Would they ever have told us their identity at all? Happiness wasn't the worst thing to dupe myself into believing. It killed me to know that another predator species existed, one that was more warlike than the Orcs. We were all doomed to a life of servitude and torment. No amount of remuneration would fix that. Many cattle grew resigned to that reality, after dealing with the Orcs on a daily basis. But the exterminator in me craved a way to turn the tables. Colonies we landed on had infestations that were out of control too, so much that we mixed orbital actions with paws on the ground. Could I accept that our home was beyond cleansing? My thoughts wandered to Hasey and whether her well-being was intact after my escape. When I was crawling up into the air duct, her shrill scream had permeated the vicinity. It wasn't clear what the Gaians had done to elicit such a fierce response. Perhaps they dropped their mask-wearing herbivore routine. Forget Hasey now, I decided. You need to monitor every predator in the area. My cursory head count was 5 humans, though I was rechecking the area every minute. It was a matter of time before a predator singled me out. I was sorry-looking and isolated from the herd. Few other Vendel paid any mind to the Gaians, and no signs of stampede behavior emerged. I hoped the train arrived soon. There was a breath of sanity in my surroundings as I noticed a mother with the 3 kids carve a wide berth around a human. The predator was entranced with its holopad, and didn't even look up at the delicacies. I could picture it flashing its teeth as the pup screamed, using its meaty paws to crush the fragile bones. "Excuse me, mind if I sit here?" a chirpy voice asked. A royal blue crocodile was eyeing the bench seat. I flicked my tail in a go-ahead gesture. My eyes never left the nearest human, who was talking animatedly into a device. The avian ruffled her feathers before following my gaze towards the predator. A strange emotion swirled in her pupils, almost like sorrow. The bird sighed. "Still afraid of humans, are you? I am nervous to approach them myself. I was born on Vendelplarm, but I feel like they'd blame me for, you know." I measured my response. "I've been gone for a long time and, woke up in the middle of the hospital yesterday. I don't know why the predators are here. Everyone gets mad at me for acting normal toward them." "Oh dear, that's not good. So you got into an accident before Noah and Sarah showed up?" My eyes widened in alarm as I recognized the name of my slave masters. Their concealing masks were etched into my memory. Noah's boasts about the human ability to manufacture anything stuck with me, too. Those were not the words of a species that had moral qualms over bargaining with the Oxor. Come again? Those names, who are Noah and Sarah?" I squeaked. The crocodile tilted ahead. "The 2 astronauts piloting humanity's first FTL ship. Everyone was hiding in bunkers for hours when they showed up, but they came in peace, my friend. Noah and Sarah bent over backwards to prove that they were harmless." "They are not harmless. I know that Sarah and Noah and Tava personally." "What? No, you don't. This isn't a funny joke, man, and I don't appreciate—" Sorry. I'm not messing with you, I swear, please. I need the truth. I just, have a head injury. Maybe I'm misremembering." The avian squinted, scrutinizing me for several seconds. I didn't back away from her direct stare and tucked my ears back in a pleading gesture. The crocodile had to understand sincerity when it was plastered all over my features. None of her explanation made sense, but I had to hear this fabrication for myself. Unless the names were an uncanny coincidence, Noah and Sarah were the first to scout our home as their hunting ground. Could any Vendel actually believe a predator came in peace? My first-hand experience was ripe with displays of aggression. I could still hear the Oxor calling us animals. My neckband tingled as I remembered them pressing a rod to my throat. Their eyes sparkled at my screams. But it was too hot to quiet myself. It felt like they were injecting molten lava into my skin. The restraint stopped me from thrashing as an Arxor licked the newly charred skin for fun. "Please stop lying," I pleaded in a broken voice. "I heard the television talking about the war with the Federation. I know humans conquered us." The crocodile squawked with alarm. "The Vendel are the closest allies humanity has. Humans adore you. Just look around. That war started because the Federation has been gene-modding dozens of species without their consent. Anyone who doesn't fit their mold of a model herbivore gets cured." I beg your pardon? That's a total falsification. Humans lie. If that's your source, I would know." "The Kolshian chief admitted it from the Federation summit, buddy. Also, my species spearheaded an orbital raid on human homeworld, unprovoked, killed a billion civilians, and that's why they have so many refugees still here. It makes me ashamed to be a crocodile." "Of course the Federation tried to exterminate those monsters. Good for them," I thought. "But what's with this genetic tampering?" The light rail train coasted into the station, and an automated voice announced that the passengers should begin boarding. The crocodile hopped off the bench, leaving me to march after her. There was no telling how much of the story, if any, was true. However, she believed it with all of her heart. That meant the predators might have sold these falsehoods to the Vendel, too. I jostled the avian swing. "Hey, wait up. How many Vendel do you think they've eaten so far?" "0, she replied, settling into a window seat. "Humans don't eat sapiens, and they see you as part of their pack." "You're really trying to say it's 0? I know it's a non-zero number. Has the whole world gone mad?" "Yes, I guess it has. That's enough questions. I don't want humans to think that I'm one of those, crocodile. They are probably do already." My gaze turned to the train cabin as two Gaians boarded together. Silent curses echoed through my mind at the thought of having to ride with them. There was safety in numbers, since we had enough Vendel to form a herd. Still, I was hoping none of the predators would tag along for our voyage. It made me queasy to picture them ravaging the tram. One human gazed directly at our seat for a long moment. My heart leapt further into my throat, before I realized that its pupils were on my crocattle's seatmate instead. The shaven beast seemed to be testing the bird, as it arched the hair over its nasty eyes. My avian partner raised a wing slightly and lowered her head to appease the Gaians. The crocodile alliance attacking the predator's birthplace must have had a shred of truth to it. That destructive event explained the ubiquitous invasion of our home. Gaians had been forced to flee their lair. It also meant humans weren't as strong as Noah claimed. There was hope for the Federation to put them down yet. "Attention, please. This line is now departing for Honolulu City. Enjoy a safe ride, and please come back soon." The train door started to seal, and I relaxed a bit. That was before I caught the blur of motion in my periphery as a panicked human chased the tram. At first, I assigned menial lateness to the beast's actions. Its brown eyes simmered with determination, and it flailed its arms at the conductor. "Stop the train!" the guy had roared. "We need to search you." The crocodile beside me gasped, "Sweet Ina! Oh, not supposed to say that anymore. That's Ambassador Noah." Excited chatter circulated through the train, and several Vendel flung themselves against the windows to film the incident. You would think that it was a superstar celebrity, not an alien hunter. Noah's lean torso made its pose intimidating, and its thin scalp gave it a hardened look. Its forward-facing irises popped against the white backdrop. I could picture it speaking in a falsetto voice as it squeezed my paw. That was a vicious face it had been hiding. Governor Tava plodded up calmly beside it, with a curly-haired human next to her. The female Gaian had thick eyebrows, which accentuated her wildness. Her mane was a total catastrophe, puffing out like wind-blown grass. "We apologize for the delay. Please remain seated as we speak with the Terran ambassador." "No!" I screamed. "Keep going!" My avian seatmate flexed her talons. "You're crying. What's wrong?" "I want to see my family. I can't do this anymore." Governor Tava heard my commotion and pointed towards the source with her metal tail. Noah waved at the conductor as he reopened the doors and granted it entry. It prowled down the aisle, searching with a singular intent. I leaned back against the crocodile in terror, shaking from head to toe. This was like being captured by the Arxor all over again. My team had descended a canyon, cleaning up native predators there. The region could become an abscess for the fledgling colony otherwise. It was supposed to be a simple job, but none of us realized that we weren't alone. The Arxor snuck a ship in under nightfall and landed practically atop my unit. We all knew it was better to die than to be captured. I scrambled to the truck to get my firearm, along with every Vendel that didn't freeze. The greys were faster, covering ground with animalistic fervor. The tranquilizer dart embedded in my neck, pricking into my flesh. Sheer terror washed over me, because I knew what the darkness entailed. "Glim, Tava heard your voice." The male guide worked its way down the aisle and turned its head from side to side. "We're all worried about you. Let us help you." I glared at Noah's lumbering form. This time, I'll get it right. Death before capture." I climbed over the number of seats, whacking disgruntled passengers with my tail. Noah spotted my haphazard escape and chased after me. The human asked for passengers to intervene. Nearby Vendel didn't hesitate to attempt a takedown. 2 of my own people grabbed at me as I made it to the emergency hatch. My hind legs kicked one assailant in the teeth, and I shook off the other with a sudden tug. My claws slid under the lever, pulling the panel open. I dove out the window like I was trying to land on my stomach. The bulky predator took one look at the gap before settling for a rear exit. My belly flop knocked the wind out of me, but adrenaline pushed me upright. I sprinted with all my energy, heading in the opposite direction from Noah. Holopads captured my flight in real time. "Glim, our eyes are arboreal," Cowguyan panted. "Helps judge branch distance." The predator sounded out of breath, which meant it might give up the pursuit soon. I ignored its words and hoisted myself up in a flight of stairs. The human was quick despite its size, able to track me excellently. Tree dwellers wouldn't have sudden knack for land pursuit or such wide pupils. "Why is it still trying to lie? All it does is lie." Noah crested the stairs on my tail, "And the canines aren't, for meat-eating. They're for fighting over mates." "That's better," I screamed. "To you, yes. They've shrunk from our ancestors. We don't even do the mate fighting bit now. Well, not the biting part." I shoved my way by startled pedestrians, and Noah apologized as it followed. Several Vendels stared at the human chasing a rescue. We were creating quite a spectacle. Risking a glance over my shoulder, I saw sweat beads on its skin. The burning of its legs affected it less than me, though. The predator was close on my heels, and outrunning it seemed a physical impossibility. I waited until right when a shadow dropped into a lunging stance before doubling back. Noah tripped over itself as I slithered between its lanky legs. The alien found its footing and reversed its direction. I'd managed to put a few paces between us again, but I hadn't figured out my final act of defiance. Glim was not a number. Noah had been right, ironically. It wasn't worth living as a monster's cattle in a new place. I hopped onto the stair railing and slid down. Gravity deposited me back in the terminal. The human didn't risk a quick descent when the banister wasn't meant to hold its weight. It was skipping steps all the same, bounding down the stairs 3 at a time, acid searing through my leg muscles, but I willed myself onward. That tireless thing hit the ground at blinding speed too. "I wanted to tell you about us," Noah called. "You deserve to feel safe." Its footsteps pounded against the concrete, and I bolted behind the stopped train's caboose. Several passengers shouted pleas and exclamations. The crow cattle I'd been talking to tried to swoop down on me, but failed to catch an air current. Tava and Sarah simply watched the madness unfold with agape expressions. I mounted another platform as the rumble of an incoming train greeted my ears. The vehicle's front side was visible, and I hoped that its weight would render me dead on impact. My legs stumbled, but I forced a few more steps out of them. Noah's shadow stretched over me again. I could hear its ragged pants. Turning into the train's motion, I flung myself forward with a desperate finality. My body hurtled headlong into a collision. We all knew being captured was the worst option. The human gasped in horror and made a lunging dive with an outstretched arms. It didn't want its meal to get pulverized. Then fingers dug into my scruff, twisting into a soft flesh. Noah skidded on his knees and contorted its body to tug me back. Its arm was nearly wrestled from the socket, but it retained its grip. My forward momentum came to an abrupt halt, and I landed with my snout inches shy of the passing tram. Tears streamed down my face as I slumped my head in defeat. My body flailed weakly, but Noah had no difficulty restraining me. It was a superior creature in size and strength. I yipped in panic, swinging my claws at its face. The human shrugged off my frenzied blow, which barely nicked its skin. "Easy, Easy. You're safe now. I told you. Noah nimble digits began kneading my scruff, and it gently brought me against its chest. We wanted to tell you everything slowly. This is my fault, and, I'm sorry. I could feel its heart hammering, and the erratic rise and fall of its chest. The predator refused to let go, as it took a moment to catch its breath. Tava and Sarah hurried over, which caused its lips to curve up. It lifted its catch to show them. I fell limp in its arms with hopelessness. The female human passed a holopad to her counterpart, while the Vendel leader gawked.
Noah, are you okay?
The Vendel governor asked, with a concerned head tilt. Noah nodded. Yeah, I've got Clem from here. We need a road trip. Maybe you guys could take care of Hessie?
Of course. Her reaction left a lot to be desired,
Sarah muttered. My muscles quivered with fear as every rumble of the predator's chest rippled into my body. Noah strolled over to the help desk, owning open stares from several Vendel. Its sinewy arms were unwavering. Though it hadn't hurt me yet, I was trapped in its clutches, and I knew this road trip was to the slaughterhouse. Noah poked my neck with its nails. Brighten up, Clem. Looks like the train to Clowgall Falls arrives any minute. You were getting on the wrong one. I was speechless, but my chest shook with despairing sob. The human stared with its binocular pupil, and his eyebrows pressed together. It wasn't clear why the predator kept trying to engage me. Both of us knew the truth of this encounter. You're on Thema. Moved to Clowgall a year ago, according to our records. You want to see her, right? Noah pressed. My ears perked slightly.
Thema?
Yeah, a nice family reunion. I'm going to tag along to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. Any other Vendel or some poor Gaian out of for a stroll.
Human, not Gaian.
No, Gaian wasn't a lie. We have lots of names, Glim. Terran, human, earthling, mankind, and Gaian. Gaian is one of the lesser-known ones. Call us whatever you like. Not Predator, I hope. The Predator delicately extended my wrist and pressed the holopad it obtained from Sarah against my claws. When I didn't snatch the device away, Noah physically pinned my toes around it. The Terran released its own grip on the electronics, after checking for several seconds that it wouldn't drop. It's yours. Examine the facts for yourself. The beast growled. First contact, the peer-reviewed human empathy tests, my speech to the Federation, and our rescue of the cradle from Arxor. That's where I'd ask you to start. I eyed the device.
What?
You can see everything about us, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our modern culture, our evolution and aggression, the extent of the Federation's lies, how we grow meat in lab vats rather than hunting. Some of it might shock or scare you, but it's all the truth.
Monster! Predator!
I'm sorry you feel that way. Listen, after you spend a while with your family, I'm taking you back to the facility.
No, not cattle!
The Vendel screaming at the top of his lungs attracted more attention, and Noah blinked in frustration. I could sense the predator's patience waning, so I hushed myself to avoid its ire. Perhaps these lies were kinder than the Arxor's torment and degradation. Humans were different in that regard. The alien beast heaved a sigh. You need treatment, but if you never want to see a human again, just say so once we get back. You will never hear from me or any Terran volunteers again. Not inside those walls.
I want never,
I croaked. Okay, it's your choice. I'm just asking you to research honestly first. You can lock in your decision when we're back and ask me anything you like on the ride. Noah boarded the arriving train with caution, while I was still trapped in his arms. The holopad beckoned to me as a hint of curiosity crept in. The words human empathy typed themselves without conscious effort. It was an absurd notion, but I was interested to discover what supposed evidence existed. Playing along with the Gaian's games was harmless. A predator's kindness couldn't be that convincing, after all. End of story. I would quickly like to thank our Tier 5 patrons, Dragzoon W.R.E, Quantum Wednesday, Ambrose Cattell, Lord Ashrakal, Bushmaster 177, Casper Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, and Arcadian. Thank you very much.